This man was the luckiest person. He casually said he did not want to die, and was granted eternal life because the dream god nearby happened to overhear the man's words. The Sandman believed no creature would truly desire eternal life because as time went on, they would eventually grow tired of endless living, but his sister, who had seen too much life and death, disagreed. She felt human ambition could not be predicted, so the two made a bet that would span centuries. Death was responsible for granting the man immortality. The Sandman was responsible for observing his life. The Sandman asserted that the man would not live past a century before begging for death. Then the Sandman slowly approached the man and told him he had gained eternal life. But as part of the deal, he had to tell everything he had experienced in the past 100 years, and they agreed to meet at this same tavern. 100 years later, the Sandman's words made everyone burst into laughter, but Frank seized this opportunity, saying he would see him in 100 years. Hearing this, the Sandman left satisfied. When the door opened again, time had moved forward 100 years. The Sandman had cut off his long hair, and Frank had completely changed his appearance, looking like a wealthy man. It turned out that over the years he had worked hard, used his gold to turn his fortune around, and bought himself a noble title. Frank also showed off his wife and son to the Sandman. At that time he was full of hope for life, and naturally would not choose death. Seeing this, the Sandman wisely left, and agreed to meet again in 100 years. Time flew by. In 1689, Frank no longer had the prosperity he once had, and looked like a beggar. In the past 100 years, Frank had experienced plague, fire, and flood. His businesses had all been destroyed by disasters, and his wife and children had also left him. Frank fell into despair and lay down for 40 years. Later, people discovered his secret of immortality, and threw him into the sea. Though the seawater could not drown him, he endured extreme suffering. Frank hated every single moment of the past. After hearing everything Frank had been through, even the Sandman's eyes gradually turned red. He asked Frank if he still wanted to continue living, but even so, Frank still wanted to live. This shocked the Sandman at human ambition. Just as they were talking, an old man upstairs quietly painted a portrait of the two of them. Another 100 years passed. The portrait had fallen into the hands of a woman. She brought 2 bodyguards to the second floor of the tavern, and found the 2 people in the painting. They were talking downstairs. In the past 100 years, Frank had found a new opportunity, selling slaves. Though it was not a noble business, it made Frank a lot of money. The Sandman felt his actions were too inhumane, and advised him to change jobs. Frank said he would think about it. Just as they were about to continue their conversation, the woman from upstairs suddenly came down. She said there was a legend circulating in London, that every 100 years the devil would meet in this tavern to discuss immortality. The 2 of them looked very much like the people in the painting. So you are the devils? But the Sandman just rolled his eyes and did not answer. Seeing this, the woman ordered her bodyguards to attack. Frank could not bear to see the Sandman get hurt, so he stepped in first and fought the thugs. Over so many years he had come to see the Sandman as a friend, though he never knew the Sandman's true identity. Seeing Frank threaten, the Sandman finally acted. With a gentle breath, the woman instantly went limp, trapped forever in a nightmare. After this disturbance, the 2 were not in the mood to continue talking, so they agreed to meet again in 100 years. Time soon came to 1889. The Sandman arrived as promised. As soon as he entered the door, he saw Frank coming to greet him. Over the past 100 years, Frank had become very mature, and learned many manners following the Sandman's advice. He had stopped the slave business, and switched to the industrial industry. His words and actions showed the air of a business elite. This time he still did not want to die. The Sandman had already expected this, and was not very surprised. But this time Frank kept guessing about the Sandman, saying that he came to meet him every time for friendship, to ease his loneliness. These 2 words made the Sandman very angry. His eyes even turned red. The Sandman felt offended, so he stood up and told Frank he was wrong. Then he angrily walked out of the tavern.
I'll be here in 100 years' time. If you're here then too, it'll be because we're friends. No other reason.
Time flew by. In 1989, Frank came to the tavern door early in the morning, waiting for the 100-year promise. But he waited from morning until night, and did not see the Sandman. This made Frank realize he might have truly said the wrong thing. While chatting with the tavern owner, he learned that the tavern was about to be demolished. This news made Frank lose his sparkle, because it would mean he and the Sandman might never meet again. Meanwhile, the Sandman activated a magic circle, preparing to go to the 100th year meeting. But when he arrived, he found the old tavern had moved. This made the Sandman a little disappointed. Luckily, he noticed a new address for the tavern, so he followed the signs to this newly opened tavern. The decoration was still the same as before, and the Sandman found his old friend, working seriously in the corner. The Sandman was deeply sorry for being late to this promise. At this moment, Frank also realized that the Sandman truly saw him as a friend. Their misunderstanding was resolved with a smile. People think immortality is a curse, but what is truly terrifying is not living too long. but that in the long passage of time, no one wants to see you anymore. Frank had experienced war, betrayal, and loss, yet he never chose to end his life. He did not live for immortality, but to wait for a friend who would meet him every 100 years.